or go online now.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Call now and get this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. And if you call right now, as a bonus, we'll throw in a free annuity rate report. Don't miss out on this opportunity because supplies are limited. Both books are yours free, just for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-899-6246.
I'm Donna Fiducia.
And I'm Don NEUEN.
He's yelling. Why is that, Don?
I'm not yelling.
Yes, you are.
I am not.
You are too.
I'm talking normal.
Doesn't sound to me like you are.
Ron, am I talking too loud?
Yes.
Ow.
You're talking a little loud, Don. We've got,
Yeah.
I know you got new in-ears, and I had the volume up too loud. Now you can stop yelling, buddy.
Is that what it is?
It's all good.
He's got these in-ears.
Well, that's a lot better.
Sheesh.
I've turned them down. Sorry.
Hey, sorry about that, everybody. Maybe I was being over-aggressive
Yes, you were.
and trying to
The
be an
Loud
overachiever.
Family. That's a Saturday Night Live skit from decades
The Loud
ago.
Family.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's funny.
And the Coneheads.
All right, what are we going to talk about today,
That was
Donna?
when Saturday Night Live was great. Well, it's actually a miracle. It's really a miracle. Wisconsin overwhelmingly votes for voter ID, but then votes in a Marxist judge at the same time.
How
In
does
fact,
that happen, Donna?
It's just
How does it happen?
amazing. It's just really amazing. Well, it happens when you have more votes come in by mail than go out. And Milwaukee voters voted for the leftist judge, but they're okay with the voter ID as well. I want to know where the RNC is. Where's Harmeet Dillon? Where's the RNC? Where's the RNC up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania? Again, it's the same, different day.
I'm beginning to think
SSDD.
that maybe, well, I'm not beginning to think, I've thought this all along, but I'm beginning to think maybe Joe Vaughn was onto something last week, huh?
I would say so, because he's talked about this for the last 4 years and nobody seems to be doing anything about it, including the RNC. I mean, you expect it from the Democrats, but you don't expect it from our side because they just keep going along to get along and they don't stand up. You know, if Nancy Pelosi were in there, we'd be having recounts and everything else in every single one of these races.
Oh, yeah.
Florida, they couldn't really cheat there, okay? Because it was overwhelmingly Republican plus 17 for Trump last time. So it was pretty close with the two, a little less
Yeah,
with
but
the two
still,
in Florida.
nothing makes sense when you've got over 60% of the state of Wisconsin voting for voter ID in favor of it.
Yep.
And then you elect a Marxist and a communist to the
And
Wisconsin
a Democrat
Supreme
Party.
Court.
And a Democrat Party that has a 21% approval rating. I'm sorry. It just
Exactly.
doesn't work this way. So let's look at these bogus judges. This Boasberg, okay, it's really amazing.
What was he called today?
I don't know.
It had to do with a clown.
Yes, Boasberg the Clown, I think it was. Yeah. Mike Davis from the Article 3 Project.
He's awesome. Mike, you're awesome, man. Come on our show, please.
He's Boasberg the Clown. All right, let's look at the Boasberg family tree. First of all, Boasberg gets assigned, miraculously, all these different things. Remember, he was appointed by his buddy, Chief Justice John Roberts, okay? He allowed the Russia collusion hoax to go forward. He let Kevin Kleinsmith go on. Ray Epps got a slap on the wrist. The best person, really, to sum this all up, though, is none other than Mike Benz.
What we're seeing right now is basically the culmination of a special project that started off by NATO in the early 1990s when they were seeking to shore up control over Central and Eastern Europe. We instituted these rule of law programs, anti-corruption programs, and sought to actually control the judiciary and the court systems in all these post-Soviet countries that were liberated after we won the Cold War. And no one really cared in the United States our systems of control over the judiciary and just how crazy it was having the CIA, the State Department, USAID, and all the exchange programs between our own judiciary and foreign judiciaries to control judges and prosecutors in foreign countries. Of course, famously, we did this in Ukraine as well with Viktor Shokin and Joe Biden himself leaning on the Ukrainian government to bribe them with $1 billion USAID loan in order to get rid of their prosecutor when he started sniffing at Hunter Biden. But the fact is this has come fully home to roost. One thing that I find utterly fascinating that I learned this week because of a great account on X called Listen to Learn, goes by the researcher. He found an incredible clip of Norm Eisen, no less than Norm Eisen, bragging recently that while he was the U.S. ambassador to the Czech Republic, meaning the head of the State Department of the Czech Republic, the former Czechoslovakia, that a man you may have heard of by the name of Chief Justice John Roberts himself traveled to the Czech Republic to meet with Norm Eisen, not just meet with Norm Eisen, but stay at his home. Norm Eisen's 150-room mansion in the Czech Republic at the time. John Roberts traveled to the Czech Republic for a week to work on American and EU rule of law issues. And Norm Eisen said because of this, he has known John Roberts now for coming up on 15 years and considers him a close friend. And that, to me, signifies something very dark about what's happening at the SCOTUS level right now. It may help explain why SCOTUS declined to hear any of the election integrity issues in 2020 and has ruled fairly, I would say, unfavorably with Trump in terms of overturning these district court judges going after Trump here in the U.S. But the fact is judiciary is rogue all around in this upside down world that we're living in right now.
That was at Mike Benz Cyber. You can follow him, folks. Of course, he was on earlier with Natalie Winters on War Room. He's just awesome. But Norm Eisen, let me remind everybody, he worked with David Brock at Media Matters. His big thing was trying to get Trump off the ballot in Colorado, and Trump has also just stripped him of his security clearances. I always say follow the money trail. Boasberg's wife and daughter, all involved in this. I worked with a guy named David Rhodes at Fox News Channel, who was a senior producer. He went on to run CBS. It's his brother, Ben Rhodes. He's the guy you saw, working with Hillary Clinton and crying outside of the Javits Center when she lost. I mean, there's everything. Always follow the family tree. It's all over the place. So there's another person that I think you guys should follow, and that's Dave Jose at Real Dave Cares for You, the number 4 and the letter U. He's not a lawyer. He doesn't play one on TV, but he does know more than most lawyers, and he has a great point on these judges who are acting against the Constitution.
Hey, my name is Dave Jose, and I'm going to show you what the left and the right won't tell you. I mean, look, guys, the government officials in office don't want you to know this, because if you start seeking out what the real law is, you'll have power and power that they can't check. Watch this. Maxim: a judge who exceeds his office or jurisdiction is not to be obeyed. Okay, guys, so now I'm going to give you the real deal truth. On the left and right, guys, for a long time, government officials have been tricking the people by telling them, and this is what attorneys love, that a judge can just do what they want to do, and they can order you to do stuff like make your kid change sexes, take your kids if you don't teach them the way that they want you to teach them. They can say that you can't keep your business or keep your job. But guys, the real truth is that a government officer as a judge only has so much power, and they only have certain things that are given to them for their jurisdiction. And because they haven't taught you this, they've been able to run the okie doke on you and take your stuff, prevent you from doing what you need to do in life by people who weren't actually judges with the judicial power to do what they were doing. So this is the secret they don't want you to know. If you want me to teach more on this, let me know. I'm going to probably be doing a live on it today or tomorrow. Let me know what you guys think. Love y'all. Peace.
He works a lot.
That guy is so cool.
He's awesome.
He is so cool. And we thank Jovan for introducing us to this this gentleman, David Jose.
He should go to law school. You know, the auto pen thing is rearing its ugly head, too. How many things did Biden sign with that auto pen? How about all these judges? This Judge Ali, another radical judge who is a Canadian citizen and an avowed Muslim. They just pushed him in a day or two before Biden was out of office. Was that signed with an auto pen? And this guy's been like a wrecking crew. He got SCOTUS to agree to billions to be sent to overseas to Middle East countries. Who knows where they're going? It could go to terrorists. It's so infuriating that, unfortunately, our side really, so far, is not doing a damn thing. We'll be back with more Cowboy Logic right after this.
You can find me in the back of a jacked up tailgate, sitting around watching all these pretty things. Get down in that Georgia clay and I'll find peace at the bottom of a real talk.
Introducing the Ungun, the non-lethal self-defense platform. Lightweight and simple to use. It uses an easy-to-load 5-round magazine and is powered by an 8-gram CO2 cartridge. Byrna launchers fire a 68 caliber chemical-filled projectile using a patented pull-pierce technology where the CO2 canister is only punctured on the first trigger pull, meaning your launcher is always at the ready. It's capable of incapacitating an attacker for over 30 minutes and is accurate and effective at over 60 feet. It requires no permits, no background checks, and is interstate travel friendly. With Byrna, you will be prepared to defend.
The FBI calls it house stealing, the latest scam where a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name and steals your hard-earned equity.
It's roughly 60 to 90 days for that person to even figure out that they're the victim of this crime. You start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
Unfortunately, it's on you to protect yourself. You might already be a victim. Check your title status now at HomeTitleLock.com.
Prices are going up everywhere. Did you know that the costs associated with auto repairs cost Americans on average $7,500? And let's face it, when it comes to those costs, it's not if you'll need repairs, it's when. Now more than ever, you can't afford to be driving without Ox Car Care. Because with A+ rated Ox, you don't pay for repairs on your car, truck, or SUV. Ox pays.
I really love Ox Car Care because right now I can't afford the costly repairs, and I definitely cannot afford to be without a car.
With Ox, I can take my car to my dealership just like I always have, and they'll take care of everything.
Call the number on your screen right now for a free quote. There's no obligation to find out how low your monthly payments can be. Our Ox Car Care family of customer service reps, coverage specialists, and claims adjusters are all under one roof right here in the U.S. to ensure you always get top quality service from a caring company that stands behind everything we do. And we are the administrators of your claim. We don't farm out your policies somewhere else.
In the past, I had a really bad experience. I was passed around from phone number to phone number just to file a claim. But with Ox, it's just one phone call, one company, and they handle everything.
Today, it's just too risky not to have coverage. And Ox, they make it easy.
Call Ox now and let them pay for your auto repairs. Act now, and Ox will even include free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance.
Ox Car Care is like family. I didn't just feel like a customer, I also felt part of the family.
Just call Ox Car Care now with your make and model and get a free, no-obligation instant quote. But don't wait, or it'll be too late. You need coverage before a repair is needed. Call Ox Car Care right now.
Call 1-800-691-0754 to get a free quote today. That's 1-800-691-0754. Or go online now at oxcarcare.com.
Are you having trouble hearing your TV or listening to conversations in loud spaces? Then it might be time to consider Nano hearing aids. Nanos are FDA-registered OTC hearing aids. Don't be fooled by overpriced hearing aids. Prescription hearing aids could cost $3,000 or more. Nano hearing aids are now offering $100 off through this special TV offer. Call now and get 2 CIC rechargeable hearing aids for only $297. And if you're not happy, return them for a full refund.
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
York is where I'd rather stay. I get allergic smelling hay. Just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you. Give me Park Avenue.
The chores.
The stores.
Fresh air.
Trump Tower.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, city life.
Green Acres, we are there.
I love it.
Green Acres.
The fresh air. Times Square.
This dude's
Trump
been
Tower.
cool. He's been cool his whole life. That was cheesy from what, 19?
I can't even remember. It was
80s
back
probably?
in the 80s at some point. But you know what, really, as soon as he said he was a Republican, then he wasn't cool.
Yeah, no longer cool to the in crowd.
No. So let's contrast that with what has just happened in recent weeks. Because I guess after a few decades, he decided, what the hell, I guess I do have to run at this point because I got a country to save, and thank God he's doing it. Ron, cut 1776. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, Fortuna.
Oh, yeah.
From Carmina Burana, composed by Carl Orff. Don knows that because Don comes from that musical family.
Right.
You should have seen him, you guys. He was conducting.
I was conducting while that video was playing.
It was a beautiful thing.
And I picked that up from my dad.
Yes, you did.
Hey, listen, on a very serious note, isn't AI cool?
It is.
We made those dudes, those world leaders, cry. They weren't crying in the original pictures, but we made them cry in the AI pictures.
So Trump's tariffs aren't causing instability.
They're
exposing
making
it.
world leaders cry.
Well, they're exposing it. By the way, the recent AI stock crash, erased $589 billion in a single day. So it really does show you how fragile the market is. But Wall Street's so-called strength has been built on cheap money and really overvalued stocks, if you think about it. This is a short-term pain, long-term gain, because we just can't keep going on like we are doing. I mean, you had Amy Coney Barrett siding with the liberal judges and John Roberts, sending billions when Trump tried to stop it to the Middle East. God knows where it went. We have $250 million in bogus DEI grants, not compelled to go through, stopped by activist judges. But the recourse then is a federal claims court, not activist judges, that really have to be looked at. And, well, Jim Jordan's got his, I don't know what he's doing, but his work.
I don't know what most of these are doing.
They talk a big talk and then they just don't do anything.
It's gotten to the point where even on our own network, when you start seeing some of these Congress people come in and talk, and these are, for the most part, all Republican congresspersons, I have a hard time taking any of you people seriously.
Yeah.
Because you're like the guy that does all the talking and never does any of the walking.
Yeah.
And that's what you've turned into to us.
Well, it's just a bunch of hot air. Bo Loudon, Dr. Gina's son, actually posted at Bo Loudon on X that Klaus Schwab says he's resigning from the World Economic Forum since USAID has been eliminated. The gravy train is over. It's a beautiful thing.
Maybe he's going to eat the bugs.
Yeah, we'll see if he eats the bugs, and he will like it.
Yes, he will.
I have a not the bee story that is just disgusting. I mean, it really is disgusting. Leslie Stahl, remember how Bongini would say, "Sir"?
She's pretty disgusting.
How does she still have a job?
How?
She asks an October 7th newly freed prisoner who claimed Hamas starved him, well, maybe Hamas didn't have any food either. I mean, can you believe this? This is how they contort themselves to try to help these people. It's just disgusting. And the guy goes, well, no, because they ate in front of me. Yeah. And some of these people who have been held hostage since October 7th died a few days after being released, died while they were held. And this guy looked like, he came out of Auschwitz, quite honestly. They look like skeletons because they were starved. And she actually had the nerve to say, well, maybe they didn't have any food either.
How do these people look at their children or look at themselves?
I don't know.
And not just be repulsed. Because I can tell you this, Leslie, the rest of us are repulsed by you.
Yeah. It's totally disgusting.
Speaking of repulsed, Ron, can you come in? I know I'm throwing you a curveball. You weren't ready for it, but can you? Hey,
I was ready for it.
You were ready,
I was ready
when I said repulsed. Hey, we got about 3 minutes left in this segment. Can you give us a little bit of a minute about what's going on with Cowboy Logic?
Oops, laser.
Cowboy Logic.
Laser.
Cowboy Logic.
Laser.com.
Can you educate everybody?
Yeah, I can. Cowboy Logic Laser. We are the laser engraver for Cowboy Logic, and I've got this. I was going to show again, some of the things that we've got going here. These are one of the fancier things that we do for Cowboy Logic is these pens, these executive pens in the pen cases. We're pretty excited about these because these are really hot products right now. They're on sale for the entire month of April. And so everybody should go out and check those out. But Cowboy Logic Laser, we've been around for what now, 4 years. We're pretty excited about it. So we're thankful that you guys allow us to be an affiliate for Cowboy Logic. And some of the things that we do awards, we do plaques, we do pins, and of course we've got your highball glasses, your whiskey glasses. The Cowboy Logic, what do you call them? Ivermectin happy hour glasses and stuff like that.
This is the Ivermectin happy hour.
Yeah.
Right there.
Hey, Ron, and
we've got the carpenter pencils.
You just added a 3D printer to your arsenal too, didn't you?
I did add a 3D printer to the arsenal. I've been kind of messing around with that, trying to learn how to do it. 3D printing is pretty fun, especially when you're getting into it and you're learning everything. You realize quickly, though, that you need multiple printers to be able to keep up with demand. So we haven't put anything out specifically with the 3D printer yet, but we will in the near future.
Very cool.
And if they use promo code 1776, what happens?
They get 10% off almost everything they purchase. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice. Cowboylogic. Oops.
Laser.
Yeah, sorry. I messed that up.
Try
Take
that
two.
again.
Cowboylogic.
Laser.com.
Cowboylogic.
Laser.
That's right.
.com. Cowboylogic.
Laser.com. Oh, gosh.
Ronbo, thank you, brother, as always. All
You're
right,
welcome.
Donna, back to more headlines.
Well, we're not. Come on. We are. I'm reserving judgment.
But
Dan
I won't.
Bongino and Kash Patel just getting in there. But a new FBI assistant director that Kash Patel has named is a guy named Stephen J. Jensen. He's in charge of the Bureau's domestic terrorism operations on January 6th. He played a key role on January 6th on the attack on the Capitol, and he's responsible for establishing a system to monitor violence at school board meetings and potential acts of domestic terrorism. Remember this name.
And that's what
not
he
going to
did.
go over well.
That's what he did.
That's what
right?
he already
Yeah.
did. This is per the New York Times, too. Stephen J. Jensen, he's just been named to run the Washington field office. I think we need some vetting here. Maybe Laura Loomer can look into this.
Boy, is she a wrecking ball.
She's awesome. She really is awesome. But, you're not going to like everything. Things are supposedly moving along. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt. But patience is wearing thin, I think, for a lot of people.
Damn right. You're watching Cowboy Logic. We're running out of patience, and we're running out of time.
Bye.
We'll be back.
Blackfoot out of home. Cowboys didn't dance, didn't wear designer shirts. Their hearts were filled with memories, their bodies filled with hurt. They would.
Hey, everybody. Don Neuen with Cowboy Logic. For years, you guys have sent us thousands of emails asking us, where do we find ivermectin? Where do we find hydroxychloroquine? How do we find pharmacies that'll actually fill these prescriptions? And most importantly, how do we find doctors that'll stop practicing politics and start practicing medicine again? We got your answer. DrStellaMD.com. That's Dr. Stella Emanuel's website. You guys know her. You've seen her on the show. You've seen her on the steps of the Supreme Court. Ladies and gentlemen, if you go to DrStellaMD.com, you can actually telemedicine with her and become one of her personal patients. And then that's where the good things start happening, because she's got this network of doctors, network of pharmacies all over the United States, all 50 states, that'll fill these prescriptions for you and ship them to your home. DrStellaMD.com. 1776 promo code gets you 5% off. Fill those medicine cabinets now. Don't wait till you're sick.
Wounded Warrior Project empowers post 9/11 veterans and their families with life-changing programs and services.
I faced my PTSD, and I'm a better husband and father because of it.
We help warriors get the expert care and support to thrive.
I got involved. I got healthier. I got to be an athlete again.
Through our programs, community, and advocacy, we're proving
anything is possible.
Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/connect.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56. I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
When a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name, it's a race against time to stop the theft of your hard-earned equity.
Many people don't know this has happened until long after it's done.
You as the homeowner think you still own a house. 3 months later, you start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim at HomeTitleLock.com.
Do you have stains in your carpet that won't come out? You need Horsepower Bullshot, the all-new hands-free carpet cleaner and deodorizer. Just spray, and the stain and odor go away. Got pet messes? This black light shows a urine stain is gone in just seconds. The advanced foam action formula penetrates deep to emulsify and neutralize stains and odors. It erases blood stains, makeup, juice, coffee, and more. For older and tougher stains, just give it a little rub and watch as Bullshot works its magic. Red wine spills? They're no problem for Bullshot. And watch up close as burnt bacon grease stains are obliterated right before your very eyes. Get Horsepower Bullshot for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs, this may be your last chance to get yours. And there's a strict limit of 3 at this low, low price. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-690-6127 or visit buybullshot.com. So call 1-800-690-6127 or visit buybullshot.com now.
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with Rice Robot, the 1, 2, 3 rice cooker. Watch. 1, add the white cup for rice. 2, add the blue cup for water. 3, click it and let Rice Robot perfectly cook it.
The secret is perfect cook technology for even cooking. Then Rice Robot senses when it's done, auto stops and keeps it warm to serve.
It won't burn, overcook or undercook, guaranteed.
Get the complete Rice Robot cooking system, all for just $39.99. Order now.
The FBI is entering a new era, one that will be defined by integrity, accountability, and the unwavering pursuit of justice. There will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned. And anyone from the prior or current bureau who undermines this will be swiftly pursued. If there are gaps, we will find them. If records have been hidden, we will uncover them. And we will bring everything we find to the DOJ to be fully assessed and transparently disseminated to the American people, as it should be. The oath we take is to the Constitution, and under my leadership, that promise will be upheld without compromise.
Oh,
Cowboy Logic. We're going to talk about Sharia, the threat to America. And there's nobody who knows more about this than our very good friend, John Guandolo. Let's bring him on, Ron.
What's
there
up, Brother John?
John is...
How are you?
Good. John's written a bunch of books on this. He did have Understanding the Threat for the longest time till they kind of stopped that. But his book, Islam's Deception, The Truth About Sharia, the Threat to America, which he wrote back in 2010, and Raising a Jihadi Generation in 2013. I mean, all these books trying to warn Americans that Sharia law is not compliant with the U.S. Constitution. So just talk a little bit about that, because we are getting to the point now, after looking at Europe, we got to stop this now or else we're in big trouble.
That's right. And I think it really... I love that this is the step-off point for the discussion, because if we back it out, American warfighting doctrine, U.S. warfighting doctrine, says when we analyze threats, we are supposed to begin with who the enemy says they are and why they say they're fighting. 100% of the jihadis that have been killed or captured on the battlefields of Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, parts of Africa, Europe, the Middle East, Canada, the United States, etc., all say we are Muslims waging jihad in the cause of Allah to establish an Islamic State under Sharia. From the highest authorities in Islamic jurisprudence, Al-Azhar University and all published Islamic law, to all the textbooks used to teach Muslim children in U.S. Islamic schools here in the United States, they all say the purpose of Islam is to wage war against the non-Muslim community until Allah's divine law Sharia is the law of the land. So that's the purpose. And, excuse me, since 9/11, from Mr. Bush to today, the United States government has never identified the enemy in a war that we've been fighting on multiple continents, including in our own hometowns. And this is why we are losing, and we're going to lose if, number one, we don't identify and vanquish the enemy. And I'll put this on the table now, and then let you all unpack it as you want. No war in human history has ever been won by fixing policies or changing issues. So lots of things have happened under this administration just in the last 2 months that have been very productive for trying to reestablish the republic. However, if you don't actually identify the enemy, put your finger on them, and vanquish them, then the end goal of our adversary will be achieved. And they are working very diligently every day, our adversaries, to ensure that we don't actually identify them. And anybody that gets close, of course, they radiate and go after and attack. And that's the way it's been since 9/11/2001.
Yeah, who would have thought, John, after 9/11?
Let me ask you this. Earlier, you mentioned different parts of the world, different nations and countries. You didn't mention Mexico, Central America, and South America. And with the exception of them using that part of the world to enter the United States, is Islam infecting those countries and continents as well?
Absolutely.
Okay, even though it's heavily Catholic.
Yes. Yeah, heavily. And I will say, in the West, in Europe, United States, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, all these places, the tip of the spear of the enemy's efforts is through interfaith outreach. So into the Jewish community, into the non-denominational community, into the Protestant community, into the Catholic community. They have made great inroads. So you have, when facts and evidence are brought forward to identify Islamic organizations and leaders as being hostile, usually the first people that come to their defense are Christians and Jews, pastors, rabbis, and organizations that are Christian or Jewish, not to mention, Republicans. But that's maybe a different part of the story. But the interfaith outreach is where they are making their greatest progress.
Again, they don't understand the threat, which was exactly why you were attacked with the organization you had that was by that same name. And what you just said in Pennsylvania, Governor Shapiro, who is Jewish, just gave the largest grant in Pennsylvania history to a Muslim community. They're doing the same thing in Texas. A lot of people are saying Texas has outlawed Sharia law, and I think Ken Paxton is looking into it. But, I mean, how can they have these cities within a city? I mean, there's no-go zones into the Detroit area as well. How do you fight?
How does Sharia law, and I know the answer to this question. I'm playing good lawyer here by asking questions I know the answer to. For many, many years, we've discussed with you the fact that Sharia law in no possible way is compliant with the Constitution. We got about 3 minutes. Are you able to really make the viewers understand what that statement means?
Yeah, so I do want to come back to those initial questions. You know what? The Al-Aqsa Islamic Society that Governor Shapiro gave to, that's a jihadi organization. He should be charged by the federal government with material support. And we can talk more in depth about what's going on in Texas, but it all comes down to ignorance on the part of leaders. I'm glad that Texas leadership finally, in the last week, is opening up investigations and taking action. It's about 20 years late, but I guess better late than never. How does Sharia do it? Sharia doesn't do it on its own. There is a massive Islamic movement in the United States that has published doctrine, published strategy, hundreds of lines of operation, and thousands of organizations in the United States that subvert this country. This is much more a counterintelligence espionage effort than it is violence and terrorism. That's not their leading edge. They do it through things like interfaith outreach, working with chambers of commerce, working with elementary, junior high schools, colleges, university, through known Hamas Muslim Brotherhood organizations like Muslim Student Association, which is on almost every major college campus university in America. Hamas groups like Students for Justice in Palestine, MGAGE, the Muslim Public Affairs Council, which ensures nothing goes into movies in Hollywood that would offend Muslims. So you get a complete propaganda front of what Islam truly is and what Sharia is. So you have, despite the fact that 100% of published Islamic law and 100% of all textbooks used to educate Muslim children in the United States about Islam says that Islam is a complete way of life, not a religion, governed by Sharia, and that the purpose of Islam is to wage jihad to establish Sharia on the earth, period. And our leaders, Bill Clinton, George Bush, all the way forward, will tell you that true Islam, this mystical version of Islam that no one can find taught anywhere in the world in any century, teaches, is good and decent. These are the words of George Bush.
We've already come up against a break here, John. The one thing that I know Steve Bannon, our great morning guy and afternoon guy here at Real America's Voice, has tried to get Donald Trump to outlaw the Muslim Brotherhood. When we come back from a break, we're going to show a video where they kind of say pedophilia is okay. It's really scary stuff. We'll be back with more with John Blondolo right after this. Hey everybody, Donna Fiducia here to talk to you about Cowboy Logic Laser.com. And boy, do we have so many goodies. We have the glasses. Well, first of all, we have the highball glasses and your cocktail glasses, Cowboy Logic Laser.com. Or you have the carpenter pencils, which Don loves so much, and he shows them all the time on our show. And, well, it comes with a sharpener, too. Cowboy Logic Laser.com. And you got coffee mugs. Anything you want, they can laser it on. Now, this one I'm not even going to open up because I almost chopped my finger off first time, but they do have a Cowboy Logic laser knife as well. Anything you want, CowboyLogicLaser.com, CowboyLogicLaser.com, promo code 1776, get you 10% off, folks. And the stuff is just really great. It supports the show, and we really do appreciate it. CowboyLogicLaser.com.
The FBI calls it house stealing, the latest scam where a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name and steals your hard-earned equity.
It's roughly 60 to 90 days for that person to even figure out that they're the victim of this crime. You start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
Unfortunately, it's on you to protect yourself. You might already be a victim. Check your title status now at HomeTitleLock.com.
Are you having trouble hearing your TV or listening to conversations in loud spaces?
I think as my hearing loss has gotten worse, I'm not as engaging as I was before.
Then it might be time to consider nano hearing aids. The days of expensive hearing aids are over. Recent changes in the law have allowed for over-the-counter hearing aids sold direct and shipped to your home, which means no more having to go to a doctor and spend thousands.
The fact that you're able to go direct, the pricing was phenomenal. It just was a win-win all the way around.
Nano hearing aids are incredibly affordable and deliver outstanding high-quality volume with superior noise reduction.
When you put nanos in your ears, truly amazes me that you can hear so much better.
Don't mistake nanos for cheap amplifiers. Nanos are FDA-registered OTC hearing aids. They are lightweight and simple to use, and their tiny in-ear design makes them nearly invisible. And best of all, they are rechargeable, saving you hundreds of dollars on batteries.
They are so small and so powerful. Just makes my life so much better.
Don't be fooled by overpriced hearing aids. Prescription hearing aids could cost $3,000 or more. Order now and get 2 Nano CIC rechargeable hearing aids for only $397. You get a free portable charging case, a $79 value, free 24/7 lifetime telephone support, and free shipping. Plus, all Nanos come with a 45-day money-back guarantee. Try them, and if you're not happy, return them for a full refund.
Just so easy, so affordable. Just go ahead and do it.
Nano hearing aids are only $397. But wait, we are so confident you are going to love your Nanos, we are offering $100 off through this special TV offer. Order now and you'll get 2 Nano CIC rechargeable hearing aids for only $297. Call and order your Nano hearing aids right now and get all the benefits of being able to hear again without having to spend thousands.
Call 800-226-2107. That's 800-226-2107.
What do you do when your tire goes flat and there's no air anywhere? You reach for Bullseye Pro, the smarter, faster, hands-free way to fill it up with air. Bullseye Pro is equipped with a rechargeable power plant, smart pressure sensor, and custom nozzles. It's like the power of an air compressor in the palm of your hand. Get your complete Bullseye Pro inflation system for just $79.99 and get free shipping. Plus, we'll give you a 50% discount on a second one. Order now.
Welcome back to Cowboy Logic, everybody. We've got a Marine in the house. We got former FBI guy John Guandolo, and most importantly, he's a damn good brother of ours. We do, when we go to conventions and stuff, we get in a lot of trouble.
God forbid
we do
Don
childish things.
Yeah, it's really scary.
All right, Donna teased a video that we're going to play for you guys. Ron, let's go ahead and run it, and then we're going to talk about it.
This is actually Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam what do with Aisha. He saved her, and he married her when she was 6 years old, and he lived with her. When she reached the 9 years old.
And then he had sex with her at that
after that.
When she ready?
Yeah.
When she ready, she menstruated at 9, and then he had sex. When she ready, and they know that she is ready, they have the physical relation. May I ask a question? Why do you consider that as pedophily? I think that a 9-year-old is still a child, so I consider having sex with a 9-year-old to be pedophilia. But it has already passed that stage. It's not. She became an adult. She finished a stage and entered a new stage. With it is considered as an adult. She's physically grown. She has the ability to bear. Like if she gets married, she can get pregnant.
All right.
It's
whoever created that video obviously had the music too loud, so you couldn't understand what these guys were saying. There was text there. For those of you like me that haven't had your eyes done, it could be difficult. The bottom line synopsis of that video is there was a guy that was talking to some Islamic scholars, and they were talking about the fact that in Islam, they like to marry at age 6. They wait for the little girl to start menstruating sometime as early as 9, and then she may be deflowered.
Yeah.
And at that point,
they normalize pedophilia.
Now, John, I don't think I could be more creeped out right now. That was one of the most disgusting videos that we've ever played. I'll let you expand on it before I say something that the FCC and Zen Master won't like.
Well, I mean, that's normative, universally taught Islam. That's the Quran, and it's in Islamic law because the Quran, on multiple occasions, calls Muhammad, Islam's prophet, a beautiful pattern of conduct for all Muslims for all times to follow in every way. So Muhammad married a 6-year-old, consummated the marriage when she was 9. That's why you have men, Muslim men all over the world, including in the United States, marrying 7, 8-year-old girls and having them as their, quote, brides. But, Muhammad condoned torture, had people tortured. Muhammad was present when up to 900 Jews after the Battle of the Trench were beheaded. He participated in that. Muhammad said, I've been commanded to wage war against them till they testify there's no God but Allah. So everything, if you want to know Sharia, just look at the life of the Prophet Muhammad. Read the table of contents of the Sirat Rasulullah, which is the authoritative biography of Muhammad. Just read the table of contents. What do you see? Battle, 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 killing, siege, battle, battle, battle. That is the example. So when you come to realize that what Al-Qaeda and ISIS teach their soldiers about Islam is correct, then you have to ask, where is the other version taught? Where is the love thy neighbor version of Islam taught? And the answer is it's not, because it has nothing to do with Islam.
So is this why we're seeing, rapes across Europe, it just explode? Muhammad is the number one name in the UK right now because the non-believers are less than human and it's okay to do that and to kill?
Well, that's right. The Quran says the non-Muslims are the worst of all creatures. So it's better to kill a non-Muslim who refuses to accept Islam than to allow them to live for their own good and for the good of the Islamic community. This, you have to understand, if you try to look at Sharia through the lens of a Western mind, it's nonsensical. If you look at everything the Islamic community does through the lens of Sharia, it makes perfect sense because everything they do, remember, Sharia is not only what they seek to impose on the world, it's the blueprint for how they do everything. And I want to reiterate this. I cannot overstate this. They teach their children. I have gone through dozens and dozens of textbooks used in Asia, in Africa, and I have copies of some from Africa, from North America, which I have copies of, which I teach from Europe. And when you go through all of them, you see they all say the exact same thing. And that is the purpose of Islam is to wage war against the non-Muslim community to establish Sharia in the land. That's it, period. And for those of you who are watching and don't understand this, Islam divides the entire world into 2 parts. The Dar al-Islam, the House of Islam, where Sharia is the law of the land, and everywhere else. And everywhere else is called the House of War. The purpose of Islam is to eliminate the House of War until the entire world is the House of Islam under Sharia. And then according to Islam, then you have peace. So the definition of peace in Islam is the state of the world when it exists, where there's one state, an Islamic state ruled by a caliph, and Sharia is imposed on every human on earth. That's perfection, therefore you have peace. It's why jihad is not one of the pillars. It's called the 6th pillar of Islam, but it's not one of the 5 pillars, because when the whole world is submitted to Sharia, then there's no more need for jihad. That's Islam. There's no other version. And your friend, Aisha or Muhammad or whatever their names are, who tells you something else, they're either ignorant or lying. And since all Sharia obliges Muslims to lie to non-Muslims to advance Islam, you don't know what their true intentions are. Now, it doesn't mean that everyone who self-identifies as Muslim wants to wage war against you. but they're obliged to under the law and under the conditions of Sharia in certain areas of the world where Sharia is being applied. Those people are considered apostates and they're killed.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they're not Sharia compliant, they,
Now I can tell you this, John. After talking to hundreds and hundreds of J6ers that were incarcerated from 2021 up until recently, I can tell you that the jails, and you know this, the jails and the prisons are huge indoctrination sources for Islam. These guys saw so much Islamic material coming across their tablets and in written form, and zero Christian material.
Yeah, so it's not shocking to hear that, but I would just maybe go back and remind everybody that the organizations, and this has been going on for a long time, that certify Muslim chaplains for the Bureau of Prisons and the Department of Defense are the Islamic Society of North America and Jesus. Those are both Muslim Brotherhood organizations. So what would you expect except having all the Muslim chaplains that are in the system are jihadis, and but nobody cares.
You've always labeled them jihadis wearing suits.
Yeah. All right. We only got about a minute left. Talk about this Texas and Pennsylvania thing. What can be done about it? These Sharia.
Nothing's going to change. So first of all, Texas, it's the largest jihadi incursion anywhere in the United States. You got more jihadi attacks. The largest terrorism financing trial in American history was there. It's the number 2 hub for Hamas, Dallas, in the United States. And until Texas leadership decides to deal with the entire network, and let me just say this, you can't name a prominent Islamic organization in Texas or in the United States, a national Islamic organization that's not hostile. You can't do it. They all are. And so until we address this as a war being waged against the United States or against Texas and recognize that all of these groups, the Islamic societies, the Islamic Circle,
we're going to have to cut it off there, John. I hate to say it, we're going to have to cut it off there, but you got your point across. At jguandolo 54271, folks, please, or go to his website to buy his books, johnguandolo.com. We got to bring you back for more because this is obviously not going away anytime soon. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hey, everybody. Don Neuen with Cowboy Logic along with Robert Lego Man Morse. And you're going to get the story behind Still There.
So long story short, after I had my entire life destroyed and thrown into the DC gulag, I was blown away with the fact that we were going to sing our national anthem at 9 p.m. So about a week of that went by with tears in my eyes because of the pride that I felt. I started screaming the lyrics, Still There, because after everything they had taken from me and after everything that I was willing to overcome, my faith in my God, my faith in my country, and the camaraderie that we had for one another and our families was still there. So I screamed those lyrics. And at first they didn't like it, but after a while they caught on, and now it's part of the national anthem. So I might have personally tweaked the national anthem for good.
For Still There. And Donna and I screamed it at a Trump rally one time, and there were a bunch of other people that screamed it too because they heard the national anthem. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the story behind Still There.
Did you know that somebody could literally steal your house? Yeah, that is a thing that happens. It is when a criminal forges your signature on one document, uses one fake notary stamp, they then take out loans using your home equity, and the worst part of it is you don't even know it's happening until you start getting collections and foreclosure notices. This right here is why you need to use Home Title Lock.
Find out if you're already a victim. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now.
Messes happen every day in every way, but who wants to drag out a bulky vacuum? Introducing Horsepower Duck, a super compact vac with ultra-powerful suction. Watch as it effortlessly crushes this large bottle. This is a small but mighty duck, making it quick and easy to clean any mess. Just duck it up. The compact design can reach the tightest places. It's smaller than a water bottle, so store it in any drawer where it's always at your fingertips. Plus, it dumps out with ease, so it's ready to clean again.
I used to have to drag out this huge thing they call a portable vacuum cleaner. Now I keep the duck in my kitchen drawer and I clean up messes in 2 seconds.
The turbocharged motor is engineered to create a powerful vortex of suction, while the HEPA filter helps remove dust and allergens. We attach the duck to this tube, and the powerful suction lifts the water all the way to the top. Clean up that mess in the kitchen, the spill on the sofa, even sawdust and screws in the workshop. Plus, it's rechargeable. Got messy pets? Duck powerfully picks up pet hair from anywhere and cleans around that dish in a flash. You can even store it in your glove box for the ultimate car vac. Clean seats, the floor, and deep into those hard-to-reach places. Other bulky hand vacs sell for up to $150, but get the Horsepower Duck hand vac for just $39.99. Order right now and we'll upgrade you to the Duck Pro package, a $30 value, yours free. You get the bendable tube to get into tough spots like under appliances, the crevice nozzle to reach into those cracks and crevices, and the soft brush nozzle to vacuum gently with no scratches. You'll get the Duck with all the deluxe attachments, but supplies are limited, so there's a strict limit of 3 per order. This may be your last chance to get yours at this low price. So don't delay. Duck it up today.
To order, call 1-800-692-0144 or visit duckvac.com. So call 1-800-692-0144 or visit duckvac.com. Order now.
Are you having trouble hearing your TV or listening to conversations in loud spaces? Then it might be time to consider Nano hearing aids. Nanos are FDA-registered OTC hearing aids. Don't be fooled by overpriced hearing aids. Prescription hearing aids could cost $3,000 or more. Nano hearing aids are now offering $100 off through this special TV offer. Call now and get 2 CIC rechargeable hearing aids for only $297. And if you're not happy, return them for a full refund.
Barn Party drummers rock. You guys are awesome.
Absolutely.
And, last week we kind of highlighted Dana.
Yes.
We had his whole name across our screen.
So let's highlight Andy M., Dana, Pojar, Mrs. Rizzo, Genghis Khan, Hammer Chuck, Talk Show TK, JD Chest, Knitter, Rickas, Stacy T, Koto Loco, Big John, Damage, Tina from Texas, Elizabeth, Whitehorse, Nabru, AZ Sarah, Rose Inn, Wilson, Bob Perazzo, Never Accept, Pathfinder, Little Lamb, Bitbite, DJ Blue, Kyle Perone, Carefree Largo, Baseball, Squall, Scotty Reddy, QQQZZZ, Nancy, B1013, NVRA, Accept Defeat, Cat Turd Fan, and Flashosaurus.
You guys are awesome. And for if anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about,
I got my list.
Go over to Getter, Gettr, Getter. Sign up for a free account and then join us in the barn party, because those people that we named off are just a small handful. About 135, 140,000 views a week for the 9 o'clock show on Getter. It's amazing. And we've got a good friend, and I guess you guys are all wondering what all this stuff up is in front of us. Hey, Tim, what's up, buddy? We've got Patriot Relief in the barn party with us.
The CBD.
That's right.
The CBD guy is here. Tim Roberts.
I'm excited to be invited to the
I
party.
got to admit, I saw you on Steve Gruber's show, and Gruber was talking about how great it helped one of his dogs, and that was one of the main reasons I called you, because we have a couple older dogs, and it's helped them quite a bit.
Yeah.
Just sticking a little bit right in their mouth.
Speaking of older, before we get started in this, Tim, we need to ask you, you mentioned to us that we've got a viewer that's young and spry at 103 years old, and I'm talking about you, Rose.
That is unbelievable.
Girl, you are amazing. The things you must have seen in your life that I can only pray to see. But tell us about Rose and her brother and the fact that they're doing this CBD stuff.
Yeah, she just lost one of her siblings too. They're all over 100. It's just amazing. And I think that's one of the things I love best about putting a phone number out there for people to call in, because you just get to talk to all kinds of people. And I think the best part is that there are people that love Cowboy Logic and Donna. They're Christian loving. The conversations are so genuine and warm. And, I was talking to her, and she sounds like a 30-year-old or 40-year-old. I mean, I don't know how a 40-year-old's supposed to sound. But then she tells me her age, and she's 103 years old. And I'm like, what? Wait, huh? I mean, we have lots of customers that are in their 90s. And
I'm digging that, man. Matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do here while we're talking about the fact that we can get to be 103 or 105 years old or whatever it is, I'm going to start doing some of these while we're on the air. So this is the 50 milligram strawberry gummy. I read that without having my eyes.
He read that. He has to have his eyes done.
I'm going to do all of this. What's going to happen if I do all of this during this segment? I got 6 minutes left to do them all.
He'll be feeling no pain.
No, you're gonna really activate your endocannabinoid system, and so all those receptors that are out there in your body that are waiting to communicate with the brain are now going to have plenty of fuel to do that communication. Which I'd like to really talk about that whole. The whole connection and the whole reason why people would want to, try CBD or use CBD for sure.
We'll talk about it. Ron, stay on this screen because I don't want the viewers to think that we're playing games here. While Tim's talking about this, I am literally going to go through this. Now, there's something missing. You need to explain to them, Tim. These are all black tops. Okay. We don't have any of the white tops down here for some reason.
So if you ever, if you want to use CBD, but you're worried about maybe the THC, even though federally legal amount of CBD is less than 0.3%, some people can't have any THC at all. So this product with a white cap on it is our broad spectrum, and that goes through a second process of filtering out all of the THC. So there's no THC whatsoever in the broad spectrum products. Our tinctures that have the black, like are all right there, those have less than the federally legal amount of THC, which is 0.3%.
All right, so let me ask you something. I'm in transportation. Correct me or verify this. Somebody that wants to use the benefits of CBD that has a CDL, if they buy the white top, they don't have any risk whatsoever of failing a federal mandated drug test, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Awesome. Hey,
and since I'm off the road, let's try another one here.
Talk about the different kinds of CBD. I was talking to you off the air this week, and I had no idea there's all kinds of different CBD, CBDM, et cetera, et cetera. Talk a little bit about those.
Yeah, so everybody knows CBD, which is actually the technical name for it's cannabidiol. But there's all kinds of minor cannabinoids. Most people know THC. That's a cannabinoid. But there's CBG, there's CBN, CBGA, CBNA, CBD, CBDA, all these different cannabinoids, plus a bunch of really minor cannabinoids. When you get a true full spectrum product, it has all of those in a certain amount, but the focus is really the CBD and how it communicates with that endocannabinoid system.
All right, so if you
what about the club that you used to go to in New York?
What are you talking about?
CBC.
Oh, CBGBs.
Yeah, there you go. All right, hold on. We're going to keep going here.
Little different.
877-230-1776 is the phone number.
By the way, for the next segment, you guys, we're going to put that phone number in the lower third for you to be able to see somehow. We'll get it in there.
Promo code.
All right, here we go. I'm on my fourth one,
Can
Tim.
I finish?
Go ahead.
Promo code 1776, and we're going to give you 45% off this week. It's usually 40. We're going to boost it up to 45%. Patriots Relief with an S.com if you want to go online for that.
Boy,
but
I'm
again,
full.
Our Cowboy Logic viewers are finding it's great for pain, stress, better sleep, anxiety. I mean, I love that kind of stuff. And I always thought that, I never did pot. I worked at the biggest pot smoking radio station in the nation, as Rush Limbaugh used to call it, WNEW-FM in New York, and I never, ever have smoked a joint. So I'm thinking, and my kids say, oh, that's not true, Mom. Well, it is true. I'll take a lie detector test on that. So I was kind of thinking, this is not good. Will you stop? Anyhow, but it's different.
Release it.
Talk a little bit about that, if you can ignore him.
Whatever I just took.
Ignore him.
Hold on, read that to him. Whatever I just took, feels like it's got menthol in it.
That's for hair and scalp.
Oh.
Okay. So should he have not taken that orally?
Was I supposed to put it on my hair, or was I supposed to drink it?
Actually, yeah, that's for hair growth, but there's nothing in there that's going to kill him, so we're good.
Hey, okay.
All natural.
We're going strong here, everybody.
He should have put that on his head as opposed to taking it, right?
Hair's going to start growing out of his ears.
All right, you're not supposed to drink that one. But it tasted pretty good.
Okay, this is
All
the
right,
large
hold on.
pet.
That'll be the last one that we do. We got 1:15 in this segment. All right, these are more very berry.
Very berry. Okay.
All right, here we go.
So, I also have, by the way, the soft gels too.
Hey, has any other show host done this?
Nope.
So
and live to tell about it.
We're pioneers.
And live to tell about it. So the hair and the scalp he should have put on his head. Well, luckily, he's got a full head of hair.
I got a full head of hair.
He does have a full head.
I don't need that, so I'll just keep drinking it.
All right. Tim Roberts, I mean, we're fooling around here, but this stuff really does work. Pain, stress, anxiety, better sleep. Patriots with an S, relief.com. Promo code 1776. You're going to get 45% off. We got to go in.
This is the big one.
That's the large pet.
This is for large pets, everybody. Here we go, Tim. Tell me what's going to happen to me after I do this one.
Why, she's going to start barking.
Gosh. The thing is...
hold on. I'm going to interrupt you despite the emails I get.
All right.
We got 15 seconds.
He's going to start barking.
Tim, if I start scooting around on the carpet and rubbing my butt on the carpet, we'll know you shouldn't really do the large pet version.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Patriots Relief in the house with us, and we're going to be back, and I hope that I'm functional.
Patriots Relief, your America First CBD company. We are Christian, conservative, and committed to helping you feel your best. Are you tired of chronic pain holding you back? It's time for a change. Experience the remarkable healing properties of CBD, expertly designed to alleviate pain and promote internal balance. Patriots Relief is here for you. Visit our website or call now. Use your promo code to unlock exclusive savings. Patriots Relief, helping you get out of pain and live life to the fullest.
Wounded Warrior Project empowers post 9/11 veterans and their families with life-changing programs and services.
I realized I could be successful in a civilian career.
We stand by warriors and advocate for their needs going forward.
They were by my side in the hospital, and they're still with me today.
Through our programs, community, and advocacy, we're proving
anything is possible.
Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/connect.
Home warranty.
Focus.
On an American Home Shield warranty. It can protect your covered home systems like this AC.
Yes, thank you.
Don't worry, be warranty.
When a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name, it's a race against time to stop the theft of your hard-earned equity.
Many people don't know this has happened until long after it's done.
You as the homeowner think you still own a house. 3 months later, you start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim at HomeTitleLock.com.
I'm Richard Karn, and I love my hose. It ain't those old hoses. This is my hose. The new Pocket Hose Copper Bullet, now infused with real copper, so your water is always clean and lead-free. Just turn on the water and watch your hose grow and grow. And when you turn off the water, away it goes. Our new inner tube uses 3 layers of high-strength latex on the inside. Then it's wrapped in a new polymer filament jacket, 3 times stronger than the other hoses. But my favorite part of our new hose build? The oversized, easy-to-grip fittings. Get the super light 25-foot Pocket Hose Copper Bullet today for only $29.99. But wait, call now and get our copper spray nozzle with our exclusive thumb drive free. This is an exclusive release of our newest Pocket Hose. Order now.
Call 1-800-449-7172. That's 1-800-449-7172. Or visit copperbullet.hose.com. Order now.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Call now and get this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. And if you call right now, as a bonus, we'll throw in a free annuity rate report. Don't miss out on this opportunity because supplies are limited. Both books are yours free, just for calling Annuity General today.
Call 800-899-6246.
We clawed, we chained our hearts in vain. We jumped, never asking why. We kissed, I fell under your spell of love. No one could deny. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was wreck me. Yeah, you wrecked me. I put you high up in the sky, and now you're not coming down. It slowly turned, you let me burn, and now we're ashes on the ground. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will always want you. I can't live a lie running for my life. I will always want you. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit so hard in love. All I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was wreck me.
We're back with Tim Roberts, and he is of PatriotsRelief.com, our CBD company. Again,
I'm feeling no pain.
not to mention the fact that he actually drank what he should have put on his head.
Yeah.
But that's... Oh my God!
He's not scooting across the
hair
floor.
and scalp, 300 milligrams.
The hair's not growing out of his ears.
Topically. But before the break, Tim, I was talking about how I never smoked pot, In fact, the one time I was lucky enough to meet Rush Limbaugh, I told him I was the news director of the biggest pot-smoking doper station in the nation. And he blurts out, WNEW-FM, because it was New York and everybody knew that. Yeah. And sure enough, that was the case, because that was the radio station that, basically, it was the Grateful Dead, the Beatles, and the Rolling Stones. And, they were high on life and as well as high on other things. So at first I was like, there's no way I'm going to try CBD. And I really do think that it has a bad rap because of that. And and you felt the same way. So talk a little bit more about that. I also want to tell everybody, you're also an insurance salesman, and we're going to get into the vaccine and what you're seeing as an insurance salesman and problems that the vaccine is causing. But talk a little bit about, the first thing with pot smoking, and except for the scalp thing, you're okay if you ingest this stuff.
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, we have an insurance agency here in Michigan. But yeah, I was just like you back in 2018. All of this came about because President Trump signed the Farm Bill Act in 2017. So that's why you started hearing all about CBD. And when one of my friends approached me about it, I immediately associated it with marijuana. And I had the best friends in high school. Like, they were all the pot smokers, though, the detention kids, they would go to lunch and smoke their lunch, and I never even tried it. And they all respected that. They knew who I was, and that I didn't want to, I wasn't interested in that. And so I was super apprehensive. And then the person says, no, you really need to look at this, because this is going to be a big industry and it really helps people. So I did my research and I discovered, CBD doesn't come from marijuana. It comes from industrial hemp. And these plants are genetically grown and have been designed to not produce the THC, which is the part that gets people high. It's the psychoactive component of cannabis, right? So CBD is actually cannabidiol, is its name, and CBD is just one component, but it happens to be the most abundant in industrial hemp, right? So why does CBD work? Why is it so? Is this life changing for?
He's in the middle of.
There you go.
Come on, stop.
I'm kidding. I'm fine. I'm totally awake, Tim.
I didn't mean to be laughing at what you were doing. It's just. There's never a
give him some more hair and scalp. It'll wake him right up.
Hey, I'm kidding, everybody.
Hey, I know that when I talk to people, this is really boring, but I didn't mean to put you to sleep. No, but seriously, people wonder.
That it really didn't put him to sleep.
Yeah.
But people wonder, why does CBD work? And your body is actually supposed to produce. Well, let's just talk about it. I call it God's superhero system. Every animal has this system that wasn't discovered until the 1980s. So we all have this system, and this system is comprised of all these receptors that are all over your body that are trying to communicate, but they need something to communicate. They need a fuel, and that fuel is basically CBD. Your body is actually supposed to produce its own cannabinoids. There's 2 cannabinoids that it's supposed to produce, this system, so that this system has the fuel that it needs to communicate with these receptors and send that information back to the brain. And what's happened is either environment, genetic, age, with the exception of Rose, this system has either stopped working or slowed down the production of its own cannabinoids. So, once again, CBD is just a cannabinoid. We're just bringing a plant-based cannabinoid into our bodies where our bodies aren't producing this themselves to give our bodies the fuel that it needs to function. So that's why CBD works, because you're basically fueling a system that's designed to maintain balance in your body, to try to find things that aren't in balance, things that are out of whack, and get them back in whack.
Well, that's great to know. All right, let's talk about insurance. All right. You also sell life insurance. And the first thing out of my mouth when we were talking during the week was, I guarantee you're seeing stuff you never saw before since the COVID vax. And I'm reading in some places the increase they've seen in the last 3 to 4 years with the COVID vaccine rollout is like 100-year situation. Should happen in 100 years or more. Talk a little bit about the increases you're seeing, and sadly, it's scary.
I mean, we have agents all over the country that we work with, and it was rare that somebody would sell an insurance policy and in their career get that phone call that says, hey, you know, my husband died, or hey, my wife passed away. How do I file this death benefit? How do I file this claim? I mean, it was rare. Now people are selling a policy, and 6 months later they're getting that phone call. I mean, it's just unheard of. It's definitely it's historic for sure. The
young people are what keeps us old farts from, you know, they kind of pay for our life insurance essentially, because you don't think they're going to die before 55 or 60. You get a 30-year policy. When you're 25, you're in pretty good shape. But that's really not the case, especially with young men and myocarditis.
Yeah. I mean, imagine what this is doing for these actuaries at these insurance companies, where, you know, they base these premiums on these large group of numbers. And this has been predictable for you know, a century or longer, right? Like they know that, you know, Don more than likely is going to live to be 76 years old, and Don is going to live to be 82 years old. And so they just put those in, those actuaries just put those numbers in. And now they're just having to rethink everything from this COVID stuff.
Well, I'm going to tape some more CBD so I can get right up there with Rose.
Yeah, Rose has screwed up that little statistic, didn't she?
We've got turbo cancers, but you're also saying, we only got a couple of minutes left, that disability payments also are way up because, I mean, this is just so evil, what this government did to the people.
Right. Well, a neat part of a lot of insurance policies is having the ability to access that death benefit while you're alive, but you have to be in a situation where you can't perform 3 of the 7 basic daily activities, and so many people are doing that. And the other thing is just like you said, the younger, the 30-year-old and younger, this group, when we're calling those, we're finding that there's so many of them that have either tried to commit suicide, or they're on drugs that kind of really to deal with depression and things like that. It almost, eliminates their ability to get an insurance policy. So, this whole pandemic thing was so tough on so many people. It's just sad.
Myocarditis, I read in some places, is up over 300%. I mean, this is just...
Well, everything's up. The turbo cancer's through the roof.
And they're totally ignoring it.
And it's still safe and effective, right? The
CDC of course it is.
Still pushing it. It's still safe and effective.
Well, I think George Foreman took 6 vaccines. It's just so
All right,
sad.
so you're going to give everybody 45% off using the promo code 1776, or you can use the URL that's got it in it, but 45% off through this weekend, and then it's back to 40%.
We'll actually go through the whole week. Let's just go through the whole
bonus
week.
days.
There you go. Bonus days through the whole week.
See, we got that because I drank the hair and scalp stuff for you guys.
I can't believe
he felt sorry for us and wanted to throw a bonus our way.
All right.
Stay tuned next week and see if Don is still around.
If you're more willing to do that, 877-230-1776. And Tim will talk to you. He and his family, they're there to talk to you. I love the company, love the product. Promo code 1776. Again, 45% off through the week. That's really cool stuff. Tim,
awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us. PatriotsRelief.com. Tim Roberts, gang, again, promo code 1776.
And I feel just fine.
You do.
We'll be back.
We're in a very holy time of the year. We think in terms of a deliverance.
This is where she washes the dishes.
If you're ever going to allow your Christian faith to rise and to do something for God's chosen people, now is the time.
This is the home of Galena. She's 96 years old.
This is what she had to eat for today.
She has one pot with water and wheat.
My father was killed by the Nazis, and I was an orphan. I didn't know about God. But now, in the cold, hungry nights, I pray for food to the God I've never known. There are good people that love you.
You see the tears. Scripture says joy can come in the morning, and you can be the reason.
This Passover, if you will bless these hurting children of Israel, you will receive God's blessing in return. Your urgent gift today of $25 will help rush a survival food box filled with life-saving essentials and matzah for the Passover holy day. Call, scan, or go online now.
I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, I don't know how much longer she could have waited for us to come.
I can't even grow my food anymore. What will happen to me? I'm doomed to starve.
Tens of thousands of elderly Holocaust survivors in the former Soviet Union are living in extreme poverty, hungry, and forgotten. But through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, we can bring them hope.
Eggs. It's my favorite food. May you be blessed.
You say to them, we see you and we're here to help.
Please don't delay. Call, scan, or go online now.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56. I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
The FBI calls it house stealing, the latest scam where a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name and steals your hard-earned equity.
It's roughly 60 to 90 days for that person to even figure out that they're the victim of this crime. You start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
Unfortunately, it's on you to protect yourself. You might already be a victim. Check your title status now at HomeTitleLock.com.
Welcome back to Cowboy Logic, everybody. Another special moment for us, and I hope that you'll just let us enjoy this. I think you guys will too, because you're going to remember back a few years ago when we first interviewed our J6 brother Tom Webster, United States Marine, NYPD hero, patriot. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the most touching interviews we've done with a J6er because he gave us and you time away from his family days before he was going into prison for, at that time, what he believed would be 10 years.
That's ridiculous.
Tom Webster, welcome back to freedom, brother. It is an amazing moment for us to be able to see you and spend time with you,
as a free man.
That's right.
As a free man. It feels great. You know, I was looking for a cowboy hat. I couldn't find one, but I put some cowboy boots on.
There you go, brother. So, there you go.
And I had to, fit the part a little bit.
Thank you. Listen, man, it's just much. It's an honor for you to be here with us. It really is. It really is.
Can I just say something? All right, I don't even need notes for what happened to you.
Yep.
because this is so egregious, not to mention your military career. Then you do 20 years at the NYPD in some of the worst areas, like I believe Fort Apache, the Bronx practically. No civilian complaints. Again, I got this memorized. And when we had you on, you were coughing a little bit. And I said, did you do any work at Ground Zero? Yeah, you're having some issues there because of all the dust. You worked with Bloomberg. You taught people how to guard diplomats and people, and dignitaries that came through the city. Not one civilian complaint. And then you show up on J6 and you get 10 years. I mean, this is so ridiculous.
Well, and I want to remind all the viewers that, and then we're going to shut up here and let Tom talk. But, you got sentenced by Judge Mehta to 4 years in prison. Mm-hmm. And then he stacked 6 more years on because you were wearing an expired ballistic vest that he claimed emboldened you to attack police officers. And I got to tell you, man, there were J6ers that actually took a plea deal after they saw what Mehta did to you.
Yeah, because they're like, there's just no sense in even fighting.
You look at the past history of the past times that Trump supporters went down to D.C. They were consistently confronted and targeted by Antifa and BLM. And they would target females, women, young kids, and assault them. And, I wanted just to have some type of protection. I wore it as a stab vest. It was expired. It was basically falling apart. I had already been retired for 12 years. The vest was already 10 years old when I was on the job. That's 25-year-old vest. It's not even any good. But anyway, it's just really heartbreaking. And what I witnessed that day was really just rough to watch. To see elderly women running around, walking around with bloodied faces, and it was all at the hands of the police. And I've always told the story of when I wore the uniform and I was attacked with a few other cops, big guys too, by this petite young female woman who was having an episode, not taking her meds, and she was coming at us and assaulting us physically. And we were running away like little kids, cringe, just running away from her because we didn't want to put our hands on her. We certainly weren't going to reach out and strike her or hit her or anything like that. And what happened that day was you could see it on video. Some of these women had their hands up in the air and they were being struck with police batons in the head. Look what happened to Ashley Babbitt. Look at the mindset of some of these police officers that they actually shot a woman in the head for the crime of trespassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's reprehensible.
And there were to take trespassing, unarmed woman, no warning or anything like that, hiding in the corner, and he takes a headshot on this girl. There's so many examples of that. And I just went up there to voice my opinions about how they were mishandling the whole thing. Any large-scale police department, if you want to find out how to do everything wrong, you look at how those police handled themselves there on that day on January 6th. They were totally
Tom, it's going against their actual documented protocol for how to diffuse and de-escalate. And they did everything wrong. One of the things that was remarkable when we first started covering J6 3.5, almost 4 years ago, is that a large percentage of the guys that were in C2B, where you spent time with your brothers, were law enforcement, former military, first responder guys that are used to running into a building that's on fire and not away from it. And the story was always the same with you and all the rest of them. We saw the antithesis of our training. You guys have been trained to de-escalate a riotous mob.
Right.
You know how to do that. And what you saw when you got up to that line was the antithesis of that. All training. And each one of you guys got hit with 111 A1Bs, and they went after you viciously because you knew the rest of the story.
Right. We all had a right to be there. There was a permit to be on those grounds to listen to the speeches that were going to continue. The rally was going to continue on those grounds. And, it's everyone knows that the police line is the furthest point that you can go to. And that police line was established on that lower West Terrace by displaying these police barricades. But yet they were targeting individual protesters and just randomly throwing flashbangs that have actually projectiles in them, and they were going off at head level. It's just, what was their thought process? You can look in some of these films, you still had hundreds of thousands of people coming towards the Capitol. What was their mindset? They had a natural barrier right behind them on that lower West Terrace. What were they defending at that point in time? It just did not make any sense. And it goes to show you, again, I've always said, we all know that person who just, the kind of people that are, what they're doing to these Tesla cars and what they're doing to Trump supporters, and how they're very, emotional, or how they feel about Trump supporters, and they're hateful. And now you give that very same person a gun and a badge and a couple of flashbangs, what do you think they're going to do with it? And that's kind of like what was going on that day.
What really gets me is, and I'm not a police officer and I don't play one on TV, but I've seen a bunch of cop shows, and I know the first thing you don't do is fire into a crowd like Michael Byrd did. And when he killed Ashley Babbitt, police officers were coming up the steps behind her. Zach Alam, admitted Antifa, was trying to go through the glass. She was trying to stop him actually from going through the glass. And he was right next to her. You just don't do that. Let alone the fact that he retreated after that.
Yeah, it's right now. This is in the lap of Mr. Bongino and Mr. Patel and Miss Bondi, and along with what happened with Ashley Babbitt, there are so many other examples of, if a cop behaved that same way in any other police department, assaulting or killing a registered Democrat, that cop would be 4 years deep into a 25-year sentence. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah,
it's basically what happened to Derek Chauvin, which is exactly what's going on. And he did a lot less, if you really look at it. We only have a minute left going into this. When we come back after the break, I want you to talk about your motion to have a change of venue. You actually tried to write to SCOTUS and never had a chance actually to have anything argued. They never really came back and answered you. And the one big thing that we mentioned off the air before we brought you on is who built the gallows. Yeah. That's a very interesting thing. No one's really brought that up, let alone who is the pipe bomber, which is the one thing Bongino's been like a dog with a bone on. Be interesting to see what he comes up with now that he's in the FBI and can look into it. Again, we're talking, folks, to Jay Sixer, Thomas Webster. He was sentenced to 10 years. He was one of the first ones ever sentenced. It got to the point where other Jan Sixers saw what happened to him and said, I got to take a plea deal at this point because this is insanity. Luckily, he's out. He's been pardoned. And we'll be back with more right after this.
And I really gave it a lot of thought right before January 6th. And I'm like, gosh, man, if I'm going to go into this riot, I need to smell my best. That's why before every riot, I shower with Sugar Creek Goods. With natural lye and ointments and lilac-scented fragrance, you too can go into a riot.
You smell wonderful.
Yes, I am ready for battle. Thank you very much, Sugar Creek Goods, for making me smell fresh in every riot.
I actually showered with that last night.
I know you did.
I actually showered with this last night. Let me tell you something.
And this is Country
This bar is a man-sized bar. Look at this. Look at the thickness of that bar.
No communion wafer,
I'm
right?
telling you. And when you're in prison, you could sell one of these for like 2 honey buns and maybe another bag of coffee with that. So,
well, when you're in prison, that's worth bending over to pick up, wouldn't you say?
At least 3 honey buns.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Did your prison have a sign on the shower that said 1 man at a time?
Yes, but that one got scooped up really fast.
Yeah, that went really fast, didn't it?
Dude, that's why we put a rope on every soap.
That's right. Soap on a rope. Do they have a soap on the rope January 6th edition?
They should.
No, but I am going to tell you something that you guys may not know, and that is that they've got the Sugar Creek Goods people have got There's a soap on a rope, my gosh. The Patriot Bar. And here's what she did. Every bar of soap, all the proceeds for the Patriot Bar went back into commissary funds and things like that for you guys. So,
hey, thank you guys.
Sugar-free
Thank you very
choices.
Cooking rice just isn't nice. No matter how hard you try, it always comes out stuck on and dry. Until now.
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with Rice Robot, the 1, 2, 3 rice cooker.
It's the easiest way to make fluffy, delicious rice every time.
Watch. 1, add the white cup for rice. 2, add the blue cup for water. 3, click it and let Rice Robot perfectly cook it.
White, brown, jasmine, pilaf, basmati, even sushi rice, all cooked just right. The secret is perfect cook technology that surrounds the rice with controlled heat for even cooking. Then Rice Robot senses when it's done, auto stops, and keeps it warm to serve.
Rice Robot's so smart it won't burn, overcook, or undercook, guaranteed.
Watch this. Add rice, water, olive oil, salt, 1 large tomato in the center. Click it, cook it, and look, amazing Mediterranean rice that's just bursting with flavor. But how about an egg fried chicken rice meal for the whole family in just minutes? And rice is just the beginning. Make mac and cheese, frittatas, oatmeals, soups and stews, even ramen dishes. For a healthier choice, make quinoa, couscous, or cauliflower rice. Throw in turkey, rice, vegetables, potatoes, broth, and bring leftovers back to life. Elevate your party with a melty queso spinach or a s'mores dessert dip. Rice Robot is perfect for apartments, dorm rooms, and RVs. And with a ceramic, ultra non-stick interior, cleanup's a breeze.
Call or go online now and get the complete Rice Robot cooking system with the steamer tray and 1-2-3 recipe guide, all for the special TV discount price of just $39.99. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. We'll even ship your entire order free. You get it all, an incredible value for one low price. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-575-5956 or go to buyricerobot.com. So call 1-800-575-5956 or order online at buyricerobot.com today.
Do you have stains in your carpet that won't come out? You need Horsepower Bullshot, the all-new hands-free carpet cleaner and deodorizer. Just spray, and the stain and odor go away. Got pet messes? This black light shows a urine stain is gone in just seconds. The advanced foam action formula penetrates deep to emulsify and neutralize stains and odors. It erases blood stains, makeup, juice, coffee, and more. For older and tougher stains, just give it a little rub and watch as Bullshot works its magic. Red wine spills? They're no problem for Bullshot. And watch up close as burnt bacon grease stains are obliterated right before your very eyes. Get Horsepower Bullshot for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs, this may be your last chance to get yours. And there's a strict limit of 3 at this low, low price. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-690-6127 or visit buybullshot.com. So call 1-800-690-6127 or visit buybullshot.com now.
This is Jeff Carlisi, conservative rocker, lead guitarist, and founding member of the band 38 Special. And you're listening to my friends Donna and Don on Cowboy Logic. Let us never forget that police lives matter.
Jeff Carlisi, everybody. If you're not a 38 Special fan, you need to turn your TV off right now and go and just leave us alone. Jeff Carlisi with 38 Special, conservative rocker. You got to love it. And I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of them out there. There's a lot more conservative rock and rollers than they lead on to. All right. Back to Tom Webster, our good brother, who is actually... One thing I need to bring up, Tom, you are a member of the I Married Up Guy Club. Okay? You married up just like I did. You and I are like charter members of this because you got you a beautiful Italian Jersey girl or New York girl.
Michelle and I talk like this all the time.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Yo, you got to have the hands. My cousin Vinny.
Listen, since you're from the New York area, man, I need to just go ahead and I've been honing my skills to speak New York and New Jersey.
Right.
So just play along with me here.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Doing all right.
See, you're not living in the New York area anymore, so you're trying very hard not to say, I'm doing okay. How you doing?
Yeah, doing all right.
That's how you know, come on.
How you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing all right. Donna, you doing okay?
I'm doing okay.
Hey, Don, I got a guy down the road, I got a guy down the road to take care of that for you.
Forget about it.
What's a you?
Hey, Donna, you think you could use a little bit of gold around your neck there?
Yeah, I got my gold. Only one.
Hey, I got a guy that takes care of that for you.
Okay, good.
His name Vinny?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, listen, on a very serious note, ladies and gentlemen, when we did the Christmas special, the whole theme of that special was J6ers that had gotten home. Tom wasn't home at this point, but Tom wasn't homing. Tom wasn't homing. Tom homing. You like that? Tom wasn't home at that point. But we had 13 J6ers that showed up to do this show, Tom. And the theme was thanking the American people and the Real America's Voice viewers, Cowboy Logic viewers, for at their darkest hour, never leaving their side. Yeah. You literally had this show alone, Tom, gets 1.5 million views a week. Okay.
Awesome.
So you've got millions of people that never left that cell when you were in D.C. and when you were in Texarkana. Mm-hmm. They were always there with you. And I know you wanted to give a personal thanks to our viewers and the American people.
Thank you. And of course, I want to start off by thanking President Trump for really stepping up and recognizing what happened. But most importantly, also to your viewers that wrote letters of encouragement and prayers, I want to personally thank you. It meant so much to me. And, seeing my name up on the mail list in the prison there and seeing, sometimes it'd have a 10X, 10 letters or 11 letters. And many of them were from the Cowboy Logic fan group of people here. So thank you so much. And I just want to take a moment and recognize those J6ers that are still being harassed with some bogus charges that are related to their case. Especially I want to recognize Tina Peters, who really went to bat for President Trump and is, in my opinion, being forgotten. And those that were fallen that day, Ashley, Benjamin, Roseanne, and Kevin, I'll never forget you. And God bless your families. Thank you for that moment.
Yeah. Tina Peters, sadly, is a state case, and so there's going to be some more
but there's some things Trump can do, and I got a feeling he's got those wheels moving right now.
Just so wrong. All right. Dave Summerall of StopHate.com calls him Mr. Coffee. This is the guy who was around the gallows when it suddenly came up around 6 a.m. that morning. They built this gallows perfectly framed with the Capitol right there in between. Yeah. And then he walked with a cane. He walked up toward the FBI building and then went into a coffee shop right next to the FBI building. So obviously, in my opinion, just like Ray Epps, who's, by the way, his judge was Boasberg, who got a slap on the wrist. This is not getting looked at. The obvious thing with the pipe bomber is not getting looked at. So to me, it points to inside job. Because this guy goes to a coffee shop right next to the FBI building. So obviously he's pretty comfortable.
That most people there wouldn't have even known was open at that hour.
Right, exactly. And again, you hardly even hear about that. Talk about, though, also your Supreme Court, your attempt to get in touch with the Supreme Court.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to touch on what you just started off on. By this time, 4 years ago, we probably had a few hundred J6ers in prison, and everyone knew their names, and it was very publicized. I think I speak for most J6ers. I think there's a level of extreme frustration with the DOJ and the FBI. Just from a law enforcement background, there is some low-hanging fruit on that tree that, well, in some ways, that fruit has fallen on the ground and is rotten. Some small, low-level arrests that we could send the right message, whether it's the pipe bomb. They know who the pipe bomber is. They know who built the gallows. They know who the scaffold commander is. They know who these guys are. There's guys in these videos that are wearing PD-equipped headsets and earpieces and police-issued radios. There's so much going on in these videos here. Just give us one little nugget to let us know that you're serious about this, because after seeing how the whole release of the Epstein list was handled, nobody's having much faith in the direction that we're going in. From to use Miss Bondi's own words, it's horrific what she witnessed in these papers, and not one staffer, not one member or whatever has been arrested or identified. Real quickly, getting to my Supreme Court, I went to trial, so I retained all my rights. I went into my direct appeal. I researched my case. I presented to my appeals lawyer. I hired a completely different appeals lawyer. I presented my argument that I felt she should argue. She looked at it, and it made the cops look pretty bad. It made the FBI look pretty bad. And she said, I can't cover these arguments. And she went off on her own little argument of her own. I lost in the direct appeal. I gave up on hiring the lawyers and wasting my money on that stuff. I presented an argument to the Supreme Court about the change of venue. When you look at the conviction levels of cases like mine that are non-January 6 cases, their conviction rate in D.C. for non-January 6 cases is about 6%. For January 6 cases, it's almost 100% for the same charges.
Exactly.
So anyway, I'll try to make this as quick as possible. I know we're tight on time. I've mailed off 5 different documents to the Supreme Court, registered mail. 3 of them were the actual certiorari arguments to the Supreme Court. 2 other registered letters were requests for status of why they're not putting my information on their docket. And the registered letters were received, signed for, and everything else, but they are not putting my argument on their docket sheet to be even considered to be argued by the Supreme Court. They basically threw my argument in the garbage.
Well,
so
Michael Bird, Michael Bird got a promotion. I mean, this is so in your face, like you say, a 6 or 7% conviction rate versus 100% conviction rate. And again, since I know your case so well, your wife, Michelle, says to me, 100, and the New York's coming out, said to me, hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees on your first case. And the lawyer says, well, I guess maybe you'll get somebody else for an appeal then. And that one let you down. I mean, it's just insane. And unfortunately, though, we're out of time.
We're out of time. But, Tom, we want you to stay with us, man, because we'd be honored for you to go to the national anthem just like we do every week. It's the most beautiful national anthem ever sung, ever recorded, ever performed. And that's by your brothers in C2B. Gentlemen, hats off. Ladies and gentlemen, hand over your hearts. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for trusting us with 2 hours of your time. And Tom Webster, our dear brother, we love you, man.
God bless, Tom.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's a concerted effort to intimidate and censor conservative thinkers. The very freedoms secured by our Constitution are being threatened by the most liberal progressives America has ever seen. It seems like everything they do is to the detriment of our great nation. But there are plenty of patriots with the courage to stand up to the left. Join AMAC. AMAC is a voice for conservatives that cannot be ignored. Stand with over 2 million America-loving patriots by joining AMAC today.
When a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name, it's a race against time to stop the theft of your hard-earned equity.
Many people don't know this has happened until long after it's done.
You as the homeowner think you still own a house. 3 months later, you start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim at HomeTitleLock.com.
Are you having trouble hearing your TV or listening to conversations in loud spaces?
I think as my hearing loss has gotten worse, I'm not as engaging as I was before.
Then it might be time to consider nano hearing aids. The days of expensive hearing aids are over. Recent changes in the law have allowed for over-the-counter hearing aids sold direct and shipped to your home, which means no more having to go to a doctor and spend thousands.